radical. Remember when I did that famous video on the day Fukushima was sliding? I kept going right, and I did every president. I used those pop-ups, Google's own software. And Google took it down, defaced my own work illegally. Followed the rules. A little late for that debate, right? The last couple of years, how much stimulus did we dump out? So this is a historic video, and I'll tell you why. Because if somebody, I taught here, the #1 school business in the United States, on a promise, because the legendary finance professor Clyde Cooley had passed away. My third graduation from this university, but I graduated the #1 school business in the country. Still to this day is the highest undergraduate business school scores in the history of the country. Class of '96. I had the last letter of recommendation the legendary finance professor Clyde Cooley ever wrote. Clyde Cooley died in 1999 out of nowhere, right as we got our MBA. So they begged me to come help him. Now, this is so important because I was going psycho. So I did the PPI CPI for a Wall Street firm and for this university. I could do it. I knew how they gathered the data back in that when it was legitimate. I never got it wrong in freaking years and years and years. In 2000, Kyle Madsen, who I'm help teaching here, he couldn't handle this MBA, and they're begging me to do it. So I did it. He said, Kevin, that's the first time I ever seen you get it wrong, and that was March 10th, 2020. I said, I didn't get it wrong. Greenspan got it wrong. Volcker spoke here. Volcker he was an Eccles Feds guy. Yeah, that Mariner Eccles, who's from here, who, by the way, is the last of the, I knew Mariner personally. I don't know why you call it Keynesian Economics. It's Eccles. The guy was supposed to be temporary, right? Not under Greenspan. 22 years of stimulus. So he started slashing the rate because he said the market was starting. So he went all in stock market, a gift to Wall Street. And the gift that kept on giving. What they did, the Fed, in 22 years is beyond. It's the greatest act of terrorism in world history. That's saying a lot, you know. That's saying a lot. I could get into the whole Saudi thesis here at the time. I won't. So that was in March 10, 2000, the day Palm 3Com capitulated the market. So ever since then, it's been one excuse after another to slash the rate. Well, they only have one tool, right? That lever, interest rate. What has the temporary thing done? It's called inflate your way out for 22 years. I mean, these trees have died. Oh yeah, a lot of things have died around here. Almost me. Call it the water's curse. So we go. If somebody would have told me then, because we were the #1 school business in the United States, I graduated here, I taught here, I was a student professor. If we wouldn't even make the top 500, which they don't, would I believe them? Yeah, I could see the writing on the wall. But if somebody told me they would have kept this interest rate and ran Greenspan, I'm the guy that named it and ran Greenspan. Clear back in the day, I'm going crazy about this. Clear back then, I would have never believed it. And I knew what the byproduct. If somebody would ask you, if you leave the interest rates falsely stimulated, basically at a zero for 22 years, what's going to happen? You're going to have psychotic hyperinflation. You're going to have incredible homeless. You're going to impoverish this country to the 10th power. You're going to create a caste system like you've never seen. You're going to have a homeless population that will blow your mind. You're going to create freaking a rich versus poor scenario that will freaking be psychotic. Mission accomplished. So if they would have told you, you know, I was going crazy when Snow got the reins, and oh my God, they changed all these rules and these laws. It's against the law what they're doing. QE 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I was freaking out. You know, I resigned. Well, that's a whole other story. But it's disturbing what the Fed did. It's an act of terrorism. 22 years of incredible terrorism. They just dumped. If somebody would have told me then that the debt was approaching 31 trillion, I would have said, oh God, no. No. You know what the debt was? We had a surplus, and let's party like it's 1999. Remember Volcker, Summers, Clinton used to put out those graphs. By the year 2005, we'll be completely out of debt. And it was left-right. Remember the right? They were all fiscal responsible. Remember that was their number one agenda, was balanced budget amendment. Get it down. Clinton goes to them and says, well, we're going to have to downsize the military. That's not what we're doing. They did it. You know how many military bases were closed in the 90s? You know, we were at peace. We had no inflation because Volcker raised the Fed. Their interest rate to 20%. Classical medicine, we call that, right? Kids, it hurt, but it worked. Who would have believed it? You know, 2000. I watched the market capitulate then, and I've watched this insanity.